I hope you are having a great weekend, and I am just dropping in to share with you a little bit more about shadow work and especially about shadow integration today, so that you have something to think about, something to apply in your inner work, in your self-healing journey this weekend. So I hope this finds you in good health and good spirits, and I'm sending you all the love and a lot of good wishes on your journey. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to debunk a lot of misconception around shadow work, because I believe that when you understand what the process is, what exactly you are going through, it becomes easier and more sensible to trust the process, to stay with the process, to go forward with the process. And if you don't understand or you misunderstand what the process is, you may be directed to a course or a detour to again understand the process. So that's where I am at, and that's why I am here today, just dropping in my middle of the day to share a little bit about shadow work and shadow integration. So first of all, these two are not really different. Terminology is a different, but I personally believe that shadow integration kind of gives us a better picture of what we are doing. Shadow work is not about identifying our shadows and limiting beliefs and cutting them off our lives with a scissor, and off it goes and it is not bothering us again. I wish it was like that, but no, the process is much more intimate, intense, and it takes regular practice, regular attention to make progress in it. So therefore, I sometimes prefer the word integration over shadow work, because it kind of gives us the idea of what we are doing. The number one misconception people have when they enter this journey is, once they do the shadow work, once they go through this process, their mindset will go back to what it was before a trauma or before that limit was placed upon them. So for example, if a person experienced some trauma at the age of 9 and developed a limiting belief that they are not worthy of love, of support from their family or community, and from the age of 9 to the age of 25, they lived, experienced, and expressed themselves in that boundary of that limited perspective that they are not worthy of love and support. Now, at the age of 25, if this person becomes conscious, becomes aware of this pattern, this limit that they have in themselves, and starts doing the work, and then stresses it back to the age of 9 when things started happening and how it changed, how they perceived and showed up in their life. After doing work, months, years of work, it is not possible for this person to revert back to a mindset that this person had when he or she was 9 years old. And that wouldn't even make sense, because time has passed, a lot of things has happened, you have grown, evolved, matured, and you have also learned different things other than your limiting beliefs, other than your traumas. You have learned skills, you have learned behaviors, you have learn routines and what works for you. So whatever you are working on your current shadow work journey, whether it's money, relationship with yourselves and others, relationship with earth, self-dialogue, worth, feeling of worth, whatever you're working on, it is much simpler than the complex layers of experience if you had. So you are just focusing on one part of a multi-dimensional experience of your had. So if you have an expectation of reverting back to a mindset before a trauma happened, before a limiting belief was formed in your system, then that is not possible. That is not even ideal. You don't want that. You don't want go back to a mentality of a mindset of a 9-year-old. Even some parts you want to integrate back. You want to let go of the parts that started believing of that you are not worth it, and you want to go back to that energy of being worthy of everything because it's your birthright. But you also want to integrate that in such a way that all the other experiences, all the other wisdom that you picked up along the way also gets their place, their rightful place in your energetic structure. So being aware of a shadow, of a pattern, is just the beginning of the work. Your work hasn't even started. It's just like you are given the task when you first become aware of a pattern. That's where the task begins. So keep that in mind when you are in this work, because many people also have this misconception that once you become aware, that then your work is done. But I have written like a 5-step of how to do shadow work, how to be aware of your patterns, how to use that awareness into observation, and how to use that observation into converting it into a better belief system that will help you grow and evolve from now onwards. So I've written a guide of sorts on shadow work, and I can share that with you if you want to read through it, and if you like reading and if that's the way you like to learn, this would be immensely helpful. So let me know. The other thing that I wanted to touch upon, and it's very important because we tend to be very harsh and impatient with ourselves when we are on this journey, and partly because people around us, society, they do not acknowledge in many cases they do not acknowledge, they do not see, they do not support or care for mental problems, emotional distress, psychological distress, because it is not as visible. If you get into a physical accident, God forbid that doesn't happen, but if somebody gets into a physical accident and breaks a bone or two, you can see the amount of sympathy, empathy, love, support people shower on them, because visually they are wearing a cast, they are on bed, they have a prescription saying that they need 3 months rest and so to get back on their feet. But when a person experiences emotional or psychological trauma, accidents that hurts them, but it's not that visible, right? And many times we are taught to shove down our feelings of fear, of doubts, or anger or disgust and all that might come up in the moment of a trauma. You are asked to suppress it down and put up a brave face, be stoic, I'll get back to that in a minute. So be stoic, and that's why it becomes very hard to. I'm sorry, I just got distracted between this beautiful comment and what I was saying. I'll complete what I was saying first, okay? So the physical trauma, so the invisibility factor of that, it is not visible to people tend to ignore it or ask you to ignore it, and that can increase the damage of that emotional or psychological distress and cause you to suffer more. So what I'm trying to say is that it is very important for us to acknowledge that emotional and psychological distress and trauma is not less significant or less painful than a physical accident or trauma. Sometimes it can be even more damaging because currently there is a lack of support, acknowledgement in the society, in the families that we are in. So it means that you need to pay extra love, extra support, extra patience towards yourself while you're doing this work. Even if you're aware of something that is not working in your favor and you want to change that, please remember you cannot unlearn, undo, reprogram a behavior that you have been subconsciously repeating for years and months and years. Okay, like for my example, from 9 years to 25, if you're repeating one behavior subconsciously and you want to change it, it cannot happen over a week. It needs continuous conscious efforts, and it will show up back up in your life over and over again to test, to challenge your work, to test your progress and show you how far you have come on your work. It's like those school exams, like bi-weekly, monthly exams that we had into school to check how much we are learning, how much we can implement what we have learned. So I hope that helps. So be very patient with your work. And so I think you're asking about the shadow work guide. Yes, you can get it from the link that's in my bio, and I'll put a link right here under this video. Give me after I'm done with the live. I'm sorry, I'm a little caught up with the whole technology part here, but it's already in my link in my bio. You can DM me if you can't find it, or comment in any of my posts, and I'll share the link with you. When you put a link in comments or description in Instagram, it doesn't really work. So I put it in my bio, or I DM it to people. So let me know what works best for you, and I'll make it sure that it reaches you. Okay. So the next question or comment is, I have found, you're welcome. I found myself that I have become very aware of my emotions, and I want to do more with this awareness than just expressing change. So I think you're talking about the change that has occurred in you because you are in this awareness of this heightened awareness of how you are feeling, and you want to do more than to experience this change within yourself. I hope I'm getting that right. So that's a great goal. So I think the first step would be to go deeper into the awareness and see what you are aware of, what you're feeling. Are those emotions positive or negative? And then kind of project or decide or choose what is the feelings or the emotions that you want to create. Are they different? That your goals and what you are witnessing within yourself right now, are they different? And if they're different, what you can do to change your current feeling, current state of being, how you're perceiving, thinking and feeling about your life into something better that works for you. Yeah, so you're experiencing emotions that are coming up due to inner wounds and the subconscious patterns that you have been practicing and repeating because you were programmed in such and such manner. And this awareness in itself in the beginning can be painful. To become aware of that you have spent last 10 years doing something that was not in alignment with you, but you did it, or you expressed yourself in a way because you thought that what you were supposed to do, because you were repeatedly told that it's what you are supposed to behave like, or you maybe pushed people away because that is the best way your brain could come up to keep yourself safe from people who hurt you, who take advantage of you. So you put everybody out of your life, so you put a wall. So this is an example of how we become aware of our own patterns and we suffer from the consequences of having these patterns. But these patterns are not you. These are coping mechanisms. These are programmed beliefs that was put in you to to control the way you show up and the way you think about life. So this is not you, but a part of you that was placed as a coping mechanism of what you experienced before. Okay, this does not define your worth. This design does not define how good you are as a person, or you, anything, your potential and power. It does not define it. It's something that happened and something you learn, and you can unlearn. But I will acknowledge that the first awareness is very painful. Just sit with the emotions first. So one thing that you will hear over and over again in the spiritual community, spiritual teachers saying that you need to feel it to heal it. So you have to sit with the emotions. Maybe you weren't able to feel those emotions before, and now you can allow yourself to feel them because you have evolved to a point of being aware. Before you were not even aware. Now you have evolved to a point that you are aware of your emotions, and you can observe from a more neutral space and allow all the emotions to be felt and released. So I'll give a small example. So if something happened in the past, right, like the example of people hurting you. So somebody hurt you and you were very disappointed, but you said, look, no, I can't let myself feel this hurt. What else I'll do? I'll close my heart and I will shut people out, and I'll just focus on myself. So that's a trauma response. Okay, you're trying to protect yourself from hurt, but you're also closing yourself from other connections. Now say 10 years, 5 years down the line, you realize, oh my God, I closed my heart and therefore I don't have close relationship, but I did it to keep myself safe. So that can be a conflicting place to be. The first thing to do in that position is to allow what you did not feel earlier, the disappointment, the hurt, plus the emotions that you might be feeling now, the disappointment with yourself, like the regret of closing your heart and keeping people away, maybe missing some chances. So allow yourself to first feel all that. And once you've done the feeling, it will leave your energetic place. You will start feeling different. You will have more space mentally, emotionally to think new solutions, new ideas, new changes that you want to make in yourself life. So first, please allow yourself to feel and release. Do not force yourself into a direction without understanding everything that's going on with you, with a compassionate and a non-judgmental lens. And then once you do that, it automatically leaves your, energetic space, and it allows you to make new patterns and new thoughts and feelings. I hope that answers your questions. If it didn't, please ask me again. Let's ask me more what you are going through and what you need to know to help you on your healing journey. Okay, so there are no more comments, so I'll take that, and yes, that it is good for now. And I'll leave you with the knowledge, the learnings that I transferred with you today. And to summarize, there were two main things. Is about awareness is just the beginning of your healing journey. Awareness is like a gift. It's like a signal when universe is saying you are ready, you are strong enough, you are matured enough to deal with what happened to you. You're welcome. I'm so glad it helped. So universe is telling you you're strong enough now to understand what happened. You are capable enough now to change what happened and has been happening, and therefore I give you this gift of awareness. So take that gift and understand that this is just the beginning of your healing journey, and there would be months and weeks and years of work behind this, but it will get fun, it will get easier, you will feel lighter, and you will feel better. So keep doing the work and keep loving yourself, and do it from as compassionate and non-judgmental space that you can. And the second thing was that please understand, if you have been repeating a pattern for last 10 years, it is not possible to heal it in 10 days, but you can heal it soon and fast if you keep doing the work regularly. I would like to answer this comment, so I'm going back to it. Yes, you are right. And it can be a little confusing when that happens, that you are doing the work, you are purging and releasing the emotions, you're acknowledging what happened. And then you are like, oh, I'm doing better. Let me pick up some new project or new thing and pursue that, get involved in that. And while you are doing that, then it comes sudden, this urge of sadness, this crippling depression that weighs you down again, and you're like, again, I just worked so hard on myself and I just started on this new work. Why am I feeling this? I've been doing the work. But that is also very common. It's a common experience. So when you are shifting from a lower vibration to a higher vibration, or vice versa, so you're changing vibrational states, you will shift between that to like a pendulum until you stabilize in the new vibration. So honestly, you don't know what you are yet to heal. That's the third thing that I'm telling you today. You don't know what you are yet to heal. So when something comes up, honor it and do your best to welcome it, love it and release it, and integrate new patterns on that, reprogram it. So it can be confusing, shocking, and sometimes frustrating to see that there is still work to do. But like I said, if these are patterns in you for 20 years, 10 years, it will take some time. So patience and self-love, that's what you will keep going. And seek out support. You are not alone in this. You're not doing this kind of work alone, although it is very personal to you. It is very intimate and individualized to you. But the wounds, the generational curses, the patterns, we are all dealing with that. So we can help each other. We can share our experiences, our wisdom to make this path a little easier on you. So ask your questions and I would love to answer. Okay, so keep loving, happy ascension, and take care. Thank you so much for joining in, asking the questions and listening to me, and happy healing. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. I'll see you soon, and I'll share the link to the shadow work over DM with you since you asked here. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.